Hello everyone and welcome to another video. As you can see, today I'm sitting outside in the park because it's dry weather, touch wood. I'm actually touching wood, the tree bark. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about what's been happening recently, as in the last few days, and still actually happening now, some of it. What's going on at the moment, things that you might have heard about or might not have heard about. First of all, I'm afraid I'm going to start with bad news. So today's Friday, and 4 days ago on Monday the 30th of September, there was a slaughterhouse truck on the way to slaughter, taking thousands of chickens to their murder to be sold to humans to eat. As usual, it's very normal for a slaughterhouse truck to be carrying thousands of chickens because they're big trucks, and obviously chickens are quite small animals, so they just pack on as many as that will fit. So that just goes to show how many chickens are slaughtered everywhere all the time. But anyway, on Monday the truck had an accident and overturned, so a lot of the chickens were killed, and a lot of them, the rest would have been obviously really badly injured, all sorts of injuries, and also terrified, wondering what on earth was going on. Obviously on the way to the slaughterhouse anyway, the animals do have a sense of what's going on. They don't think they're going somewhere happy. They have an idea. They know it's not something good that's happening to them, and they're being starved and cramped together and everything as well. So obviously they know that they're not being treated well. But this time, the accident happened, so all the chickens were considered unfit for human consumption because they'd been battered in the accident. So because of this, it would obviously make sense, as the industry was making a loss anyway. They weren't going to sell any of those thousands of chickens for food. It wouldn't make sense for them to let them go to sanctuaries, let them go to see a vet first and then to sanctuaries. Therefore, some activists found out about this, and they got on social media straight away to spread the word really far and wide to anyone who could get there, to offer to take the chickens to get veterinary care and then to a sanctuary, and also to spread the word to everyone who they could, to get in contact with the police to say, please let the activists at the scene take the chickens, as they're not going to be sold anyway. So some activists went and tried to plead with the police. One of the chickens out of thousands they managed to rescue, but unfortunately, because the police are just paid to care about humans and keeping humans safe and not farmed animals at all, and in the eyes of the industry, farmed animals are commodities to them as well. Unfortunately, this meant that the police would not budge. So the truck got turned back over the right way up again with all the chickens inside, and obviously that must have been again really traumatising and causing a lot more injuries and more deaths to the chickens that were still alive in the truck. And then the truck still went to the slaughterhouse. All the chickens still got slaughtered, only to be chucked away in the bin, because that was what was easiest for the industry. They don't take into account at all that the chickens are sentient beings, so maybe they wouldn't even think, maybe cut them a bit of slack this time, as they're not going to make us any money, we might as well let them go. They don't think like that, because they're just a business, just thinking about what's quickest, easiest and cost effective, what's going to make them money, feeding humans. They're not bothered about the animals. Even if they have hearts deep down, they're not connecting with their hearts when making decisions about the business. So unfortunately, even though those thousands of chickens that survived weren't fit for human consumption and have been through a hell of a lot of trauma and pain and misery in that accident, after, not even to mention the rest of their lives beforehand on the farms, they still went to the slaughterhouse, they still got killed, just to be chucked away in the bin, because it's starting to rain. They are just commodities to the industry. And this brings me on to my next point, slightly happier news, actually much happier news. Because animals are mostly treated as commodities and don't have any rights, there is a campaign at the moment for Rose's Law, which is an animal bill of rights. What it asks for is for animals to have the right to not be exploited, abused or killed, the right to not be owned by any humans, the right to have their interests represented in court and protected by the law, which is obviously not what they're getting at the moment, the right to a protected home, habitat or ecosystem, and the right to be rescued from situations of distress or exploitation. So obviously all these things are just the exact things that vegans want anyway. What we've been trying to campaign for years and some even decades, but it's got to the point now where we have made some progress but not enough. So activists have decided to actually take it further. Around the globe they have requested Rose's Law, but the request has not been accepted yet. So protests have started around the globe. It's been in the last few days. So a few days ago, Sunday, in Brighton, the DXE group there, which is Direct Action Everywhere, in case you don't know, they did a protest, a lockdown, outside the town hall in Brighton, where 3 of the activists very bravely sat in front of the town hall with chains around their necks and a padlock about here, chained to each other, and locked to the pillars right in front of the town hall. And other activists were with them. They were all chanting, singing, holding placards. This went on from 4 o'clock on Sunday for 24 hours till 4 o'clock on Monday, and they were thinking that they may well get arrested, but they were willing to take that risk, which is obviously really altruistic of them. They were willing to risk arrest for the animals, but luckily for them actually the police came along and said that it was a lawful protest because they weren't blocking anyone from going in or out of the town hall. So that was really good. It meant that they managed to complete the protest for a whole 24 hours, sitting there with chains around their necks, which I think is incredibly brave, and it's amazing that they did that. And these protests, lockdowns, have been going on across the globe all week, and today even there was one in San Diego where a similar thing happened. It's probably still going on right now as I speak, I'm not sure, but it definitely started today. More than 3 of them are sitting by their city hall in San Diego with chains around their necks again, locked to the building, and there are some of them even demonstrating acting as animals on farms in cages to show what goes on. One is a fish lying down on the floor in a net, and this is really good because it actually it catches anyone's attention who's walking past, and it shows them exactly what the animals go through their entire lives. And again, there's people there with placards making speeches, and they're chanting. I don't know if I mentioned in Brighton, some of the time they were singing about animal rights as well, and they probably have done that today in San Diego as well. So it's really good, all these actions, to actually draw attention and to get the media to draw attention to us, to listen to us, to actually realise that what we want is not anything like bigger cages, people eating less meatless Mondays or anything, but animals to have rights like humans. Humans are animals, I mean other animals, for us humans to respect their rights and give them legal rights, so that they're not exploited, they're not used for our benefit. It has actually created a lot of media attention as well, which is great. There's been loads of newspapers writing articles about the lockdown that happened in Brighton for 24 hours. So it's amazing that this is happening, and I'm really proud of my vegan family across the world, around the globe, doing this for the animals. It's really, really good. And I think that's all I was going to say about that. So moving on, one more thing I'd like to mention that's coming up soon. A few weeks ago in August, I did actually do a video of me and Geordie talking about his court case at the Employment Tribunal, where he's going to try and get legal rights for ethical vegans, so that when we go to work, school, hospitals, clubs, anywhere, we're not discriminated against as vegans, so we are given as much choice of food, etc., as anybody else. So that is happening. If you haven't already seen that video, look down my channel. I've done 6 videos so far, so it's the third to last one, the 4th video I did. Me and Geordie were sitting in St James's Park talking about this for about 15 minutes, and he explains the whole story much better than I just did just now. And he has got a crowd justice page for people to donate to support him for his legal fees. And obviously the more of us donate, the more money we donate, the more likely it will be that this month, on the 17th and 18th of October, he will have success at the Employment Tribunal. That is when the judge will decide whether or not to make veganism a protected belief. So, I know it's not actually a belief, but like religions are protected, it will be protected. And that will be absolutely amazing, not just for vegans, but also for the animals. So if you could go to that video and watch it, give it a watch to see exactly the whole story and hear about the whole story, not see, and then go to the link below to donate whatever you can afford to his legal fees, so that there is justice this month, hopefully, fingers crossed, for vegans and as a result for the animals. The more people that go vegan, obviously the more animals will be spared from the exploitation and the murder and the abuse and everything. And if Geordie's court case is successful, then it will make it easy to be vegan, therefore more people will go vegan. So it will help animals as well as vegans. So if you could do that for me, that would be amazing. Geordie, for all vegans, for all animals, because he needs more support for the 17th and 18th of October. It's very, very soon now. It's the 4th of October today. And also he's got another court case coming up in February as well, but that's for something different. But again, like I said, if you watch that video, he explains everything, so you'll know exactly what's happening when and how it all came about. And I think that is all I wanted to say. Oh, I will also link below this video an article that is an interview with Geordie about his situation as well. So if you want to read that, that would be really cool. And if you can share it and share the video and share this video, that'd be amazing. And donate to Geordie so he can fund his so he can pay his lawyers and get more legal support is what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much for watching, and that is it for now. See you again soon. Peace.